Hey, Danielle. I'm just waiting for some others to come on. Hello there, Just Be Real. How are you? Thank you for coming on with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Just invite someone while we're on. If you would just invite someone. Danielle, we're going to wait a few minutes, but this is going to be exactly about an hour and 20, no more than 20 minutes. Danielle, hour and 20 minutes. So we're going to wait a few more minutes. Effective communication. Going on. There you go. Come on in. Hey, Camilla. How are you? Thank you for joining me on today. I appreciate you. Come on, invite someone in. Invite someone. Hey, hello there. Is that Big, what's that? Big Deneen? God bless you. Thank you for joining me. She said today after work, after being blocked on social media, my ex unblocked me knowing we are horrible, on horrible terms. After she married the new supply, she knows everyone is on to her. That never stop a narcissist. A narcissist is a narcissist. They don't care about that, but especially when you got a serial cheater. They will go back to old supply because that's reliable supply. And they know that you all got a history together. And it's easier to go back to the old that's already broken in than to be with the new supply. And the new supply may not be giving them all the fuel that you were giving them. Yeah. So, absolutely, I understand it. Wonderful, wonderful. Come on, y'all, let's invite someone. We're going to be dealing with hoovering. Sometimes it's difficult when the narcissist is hoovering to stay away, because there's this trigger on the inside of you, like a beacon that picks up on the narcissist. And if you've been with the narcissist a while, it's that beacon still wants you to be with the narcissist. Okay, Danielle? Danielle Knight. And what time do we have? 9. Let's do 9. It's 9:19. We're going to do 9:25, Danielle. 9:25. And today would be the 17th. So it'll be today at 9:25. And let's publish. Okay, Danielle. 9:18. So at 9:25. There you go, Danielle. I am on Clubhouse. There you go. moderator. All right, we're on YouTube and we're on Clubhouse. So let's ping some people in on Clubhouse. Those of you that are part of Clubhouse, let's ping them in, everyone. I really appreciate you being with me, joining with me. Thank you so much. God bless you for being with me on Clubhouse. There you go. We're just pinging in a few people. Just ping them in. Okay, moderator, I'm going to let you do your thing. Hello, everyone. I am Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper. I am so glad that you are with me. I am here on YouTube. And for those of you who want to join me, hey, Jesus Girl Betty, how are you? It's been a while. How are you? Jesus Girl Betty, I am also, and Shalonda, I am also on Clubhouse. Those of you that can meet me on Clubhouse, and this way we can have some audio to your story. We want to hear from you, hear about you. Many of you have experienced the Hoover from the narcissist, and we got that from the Hoover vacuum cleaner because it sucks up things. And that's the way it is when the narcissist wants to hoover you. The narcissist wants to suck you in. Hey, Kiana, how are you, woman of God? At any time that you have something to say, please feel free to join us in saying what you need to say. We want to hear from you. Hello, everyone on tonight. I have gotten emails, and some of the emails that says the hardest thing for me to do now is to stay free. The narcissist has discarded me, or I escape, but I think about going back. I know it's not good for me, but I think about going back. Or the narcissist call, I knew not to pick up the phone, but I picked up the phone. I knew not to answer the email, but I answered the email. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the hoovering. And those of you that are on YouTube, let's talk about this. And like Big Deneen said, everybody is on to her. She tries she's gotten married to the new supply, but she keep messing with the old supply. And anytime this is happening, the narcissist is telling off on themselves. Hey there, Betty girl, Jesus Betty girl, how are you? Y'all let me know when you have something to say. We'll talk about hoovering. If you know something about this, raise your hand and my moderator will bring you up, because I want voice to this topic. I want voice to this topic. And usually when you are being hoovered, the narcissist is in need of fuel. And they will act like they're not, but they're in need of fuel, especially when you have been the primal supply or the supreme supply. Because the supreme supply been with the narcissist long enough where they have got a mold or a shape that you have in your character, in your emotion, in your personality, and allowing the boundaries to be removed. And whatever boundary you put up, they just totally ignored it altogether. And so they want that supply because it's easier supply, it's more guaranteed supply. And when you dealing with a new supply, that is a lot of energy. That is a lot of fuel. We have Jesus, Betty girl. Let's bring her on, moderator.
Hi, Jesus girl Betty. Welcome to the stage. How are you today?
Oh, that's not a good connection at all. Jesus, Betty girl, can you move? We can hardly hear you.
I know. That's what I was saying. I don't know what happened to my phone. I don't know. I mean, it was just wicked. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
Maybe
well,
I'll just, I would have to just close my mic and then I'll just try again later.
okay, perfect. Moderator, you want to welcome all of our guests, but I want to read something that Shalonda said. She said, your ministry has blessed me tremendously. She said, I'm in my 3rd year of no contact. After 25 years, she said, and my divorce is final. Yay! We celebrate you. And I know that must have been tremendous. Shalandra, if you can come on Clubhouse, we would love to hear from you. Hey, Sheila, how are you? Thank you for joining me. We are definitely on Clubhouse and we are on YouTube. And we are talking about hoovering. So, Betty, is it possible that you can transcribe on YouTube, that you can write it out, some of the things that you was going to say? Sheila, we is talking about hoovering. What does that mean? What does that look like to a person who may be new with this? And they're wondering, what is going on? I thought the narcissist left me and I thought they was gone for good, or I escaped and I thought that I wouldn't see them anymore. And they found out that it's not true, that the narcissist, just because they discarded you, doesn't mean that they're done with you. Doesn't mean that they're finished with you. Doesn't mean that they're through with you. A lot of time, it's a new realm of operation with you. And the narcissist purposely discard you because it would stir up the hunger. It would stir up the desire to really want the narcissist, especially when the narcissists know that you really, really love them. You really crave them. And the narcissist will do things while they're with you to let them know how intense your love is for them. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Shalandra say, hallelujah. It is so true. So Shalandra, what do you know about hoovering? What do you know about hoovering? I want you to invite somebody. Let's invite somebody. Hello there, M. How are you? Thank you for joining us on today. We are talking about hoovering. If you know something about hoovering, I want you to raise your hand and come to the stage. We want information of people who know about hoovering, who've been involved with hoovering, and they know what it's like. And when the narcissists leave, is it permanent? Sheila, is it permanent when the narcissists leave? Jesus, Betty girl said, I just wanted to point out that after 30 years, he's holding me to my children, keep telling my grown-up children to call him. After 30 years, look at this Hoover. They're not done. And I've known them in different relationships, be gone for 10 years. And when they come back as if they never left. They come back as if you was in the same place. They come back as if everything is prepared for them. Everything is ready for them. And they don't care what you think. And you can have another family, especially the malignant narcissists. When they show up, it can even be an endangerment to the new family. Because the narcissist shows up as if they've been there. The narcissist shows up as if you want them back. And you say, I haven't heard from you. You haven't written me. You haven't talked to me in 10 years. They show up in the relationship as if the relationship has changed and they don't care about the other relationship. Like Jesus' girl Betty said, after 30 years, here he come. After 30 years. Come on, moderator, give him a chance to talk about it.
Welcome, MXL. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast today. Welcome to the stage. Would you like to share today?
Yes. How you all doing? Now, when she was saying that about the hoovering, you guys know about my situation right now, so I'm still in it. However, I recall an experience with my aunt, my
Uh-huh.
oldest aunt, and she's overt to me. That's what I mean. I'm not labeling her, but it's just been proven to me.
Uh-huh.
It's just my experiences. However, I disconnected from her because one day she called me and went off, and then she actually thought I should talk to her about a disagreement, while I'm at work. And she said, "Well, if you can't talk to me now, don't ever call me again for the rest of your life." So I didn't call her back. And it was about like 2 or 3 months, and my sister called me, my older sister, and she was like, um, I ain't gonna say her name, but she said that she received a letter for you at her house or whatever like that, and I'm out
Uh-huh.
of state. And I'm like, when I didn't, I already knew what was up, so I didn't fall for it. But when I disconnected, I was like, she really did that, and I just feel like that is a Hoover, even though they're not showing up physically. It's like they will get someone else to call you or say they have something at your house and have you come there and get it and all that type of stuff.
Exactly.
Hopefully, I'm right. Am I right,
You are
Apostle?
absolutely right. That is a Hoover. Any
So it's
way to
not just
get the,
physical. It can be virtual or get y'all to come over or anything like that. Connecting with them. Yeah.
absolutely. Hello, Valerie. How are you? You
Thank you.
know, that is so true. Anything to get you to connect with them. Hello, Ernest. How are you? Anything to get them to connect with you. Anything to make progress toward the relationship. Because most narcissists know that with their spirit of persuasion, all I got to do is get around you. And if I get around you, you're going to want to be with me. You're not going to want to be without me. You're going to want to be with me. You're going to want to hear me. And then what they want to do is stir up that trauma bond, and which is that craving for the narcissist. Just like Jesus' girl Betty, after 30 years, he's trying to contact the children so the children can get in contact with them again. So that is so true, M. And M, when they did that, what were you thinking?
Oh, I already know because I'm awakening to it, so I already knew what she was doing, but I think they was caught off guard because they didn't think I know, but now they know. I know. I think, especially since my grandmother passed, I think I told you guys about the funeral and the fallout with them and all that, and they know. I believe they know that I know, about them. Who are the narcs and who's not. I'm not saying everybody in my family is one, but there are some in there, covert and overt.
Yeah,
So.
but sometimes it takes that to reveal who they are.
Oh yes, it's been very toxic since my grandmother passed. Like wheels end up missing, new wheels end up just coming into existence. My brother, he's my baby brother, but he got aunts and uncles. She had 9 kids, and he's telling them they can't get nothing out of the house. And even though she had it set up that way, I don't know why she had it set up that way because he didn't talk to her right. Growing up and all that, I always took up for her and did all that, but it's like I'm left in the dark, and it's just a whole bunch going on with that.
Oh
So
my
you
God.
guys pray for me. This is very hurtful.
I'm quite sure it is. Danielle said, knowledge is power. Share with someone you feel that this information is going to benefit them. Absolutely. Hello, Valerie. Thank you for joining us. You know what is amazing, M, is the risk that they would take in the Hoover. All that you've been with them, you would think they would think that you would be knowledgeable of all of their undercurrents. But it doesn't seem like it mattered, do it?
No, no, they still would try.
Do you,
She
do
still tried. Mm-hmm.
do you think because your grandmother passed, they thought you were more vulnerable?
Yes, because even my father, the one that I didn't grow up with him. My grandmother, after my mom passed when I was 2,
Uh-huh.
she took my grandfather took guardianship over me and my baby brother and my older brother and sister. But they was like high school grads, and so they didn't live with them long. Just me and my baby brother. So yeah, he was alcoholic, so he gave guardianship of us, and I'm fine with all that, and I feel I'm blessed to be that way because she grew up in church, and I grew up in church under her and all that. However, I feel like he pretty much did the same thing he did then because he came to her funeral and he was talking to me off and on before that. Now I don't hear nothing from him at all, and then he's telling people like I don't want to have anything to do with him and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, where did this come from? But something dawned on me yesterday, and it was like, this is a pattern with him, or spirit, or something. But it's like I'm prepared for it. I dealt with it all throughout childhood, and I'm fine. I can be fine now with him. Regarding him, it's just the other things, but with him,
yeah,
it don't bother me like that, And I think he probably do. They may do think they probably expect me to be more vulnerable about it, and I'm not to the extent.
but see, you are strengthening yourself. And one thing about it, when you strengthen yourself, the narcissist knows. Because the narcissist in your strength would try to avoid you. And that's probably why he's going through the flying monkeys. Because you can cause a narcissistic injury.
And I haven't reached out. I haven't did none of that. I would. Now, I'm going to be honest. I will talk to my father if he called me because he haven't did anything to the point toxic where, like, I can't be in the room with him or he hasn't gaslit me or nothing like that. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. One day I looked up at him and I seen his, stare in his eyes one time and then it just, went away. But other than that, he haven't done anything to hurt me or nothing like that. He was just, alcoholic.
Was that the narcissistic stare where the eyes turned black?
I believe so. Not black, but just some kind of, just it was very quick. He was introducing me to some friends of his, and he was like, "This is my son," and because they haven't seen me, and me and him. Throughout that time from 2 up to now, he wasn't there, so he was just excited to show them who I was and all that. And then I kind of looked up at his face, and then that's when I saw that.
That
then
look.
I asked my sister, that look. So he wasn't mad or nothing, but it still seemed like a look, and he wasn't hiding it or any of that, like a glare. And I asked my older sister about that, and she said, I can tell you a whole bunch of stuff. She said one day I looked at him and his whole demeanor, back and everything was crooked, like she said he was a devil. That's what he told me. And he gave my mother a hard time.
Well, do you feel like you need to be careful? Because even though he hasn't done anything, if you know the source, you know what can be produced out of that relationship.
Yeah. And then too, for some reason, I keep right now, since all this happened, I never thought that before. I was like, I hope he's not jealous of me or anything because I didn't follow after the path he did. My grandmother and grandfather made us a church and all that, but it's not just that. I have a relationship with God on my own, but
right.
I didn't come out that way. And the weird thing about it too is I don't know no one on his side of the family. Nobody. Never met them, don't know their name. Yeah.
Remind me, Valerie said this is totally demonic.
Yeah.
And
then I found out that his mom abandoned them, left them in the house, just out the blue, just left them there. So maybe it's due to that. Maybe it's just because of what he experienced, but, I don't want him taking it out on me, but I don't care about none of that right now. I don't care if they don't talk to me or none of that anymore. It's too much.
Absolutely. Here is Warm Networking said, stay free, stay away. And when you make no contact, that's why they do the Hoover. If you are being hoovered, there means there's some sort of disconnect. And sometimes the disconnect may not always be where someone left the house. You can have a disconnect. You know how you go through so much until you shut down. And the narcissists know you shut down. The narcissists know that you're not giving out energy the way you were at first. So you got an inner disconnect, even though you're in the house. So they start to do an internal hoovering. And the internal hoovering is when the narcissists try to remove you out of that position where you disconnected within the house. So they hoover you in the house. Valerie Vaughn said, she said, stay strong, brother. She said, keep it up. She said, it will get easier. Stay no contact. Our stories are alike. And she's talking to you, M. Valerie said, be encouraged. She said, stay no contact. No matter what. She said, your story is alike. And listen to this. Warm Network say, you are dealing with a spirit of darkness with an orphan spirit. She said, strong principality. You know what? Warm Network, you are absolutely right. And that principality, they're territorial. They want to sustain ground. And so the ground that they want is your life, your mind, your will, your emotions. They want to take over your life because they have a sense of entitlement. And they feel like they entitled to be territorial. And that's why when you are free, you have to watch it, because those spirits of persuasion come in. And that's why some of y'all say it seemed like a spirit of witchcraft. You know, I'm usually not this weak. I'm not even acting like myself. I am in a situation where I am under operating. I'm usually not that weak. What's going on with me? It is a spirit of persuasion. Just like Warm Network say, you are dealing with that orphan spirit. That orphan spirit is a cruel spirit. It's totally selfish. And that orphan spirit would try to make you pay for what they didn't receive. And they want to be totally self-absorbed. Everything is about them. Warm Network, excellent, excellent. Love that statement. So anybody else want to come and talk about hoovering? Raise your hand and my moderator will bring you up to the stage. Jesus, girl Betty, are you in a place where you can talk? We want to hear your story about this hoovering. What does it mean to you? Absolutely. He is hitting it right on the head. Dealing with an orphan spirit and a strong principality. And they come to rule. They come to dominate. That's why when you try to fix the narcissist, you're not going to fix a narcissist. You're not going to fix them.
And Apostle Helen, it's like he wants us, because I have a half sister also, and she picks up on it too. You know, not the other ones, but and me and her both agreed on this. It's like as if he wants us to treat him like nothing never happened. Like he wasn't like he this is someone that hasn't been in our life at all, and he wants us to start off treating him like he always been there. Like, you know, if I didn't buy him a tie or whatever, he's complaining to everybody else about it for Father's Day. I mean, shouldn't you be happy that I'm calling you on Father's Day? You know, it's like he wants a drastic gift, or he just wanted to sweep everything on the rug. To me, that's how I feel about it.
But remember, the narcissist.
But that's impossible. That's totally impossible.
Absolutely.
Even if he was healing. Yeah.
And the narcissist is irresponsible. Listen to Warm Network said, darkness in the eyes is a moment of weakness and unveiling themselves. Boy, he talking tonight. And Wombat said, when they hoover, that means they are low on supply. Absolutely. The fuel level is low. Shalonda said, it took me a while to get my sister to unfriend him on Facebook because I knew he was posting about being single again for her to see it and to tell me. Shalonda said, that's just classic. Absolutely. And what you were saying, M, is they always feel a sense of entitlement, just like something should happen. Moderator, we have Jesus Betty girl.
Welcome back, Miss Betty.
Let me ask,
Hello.
hold on 1 minute. WOM Network Incorporation, are you on Clubhouse? If you're on Clubhouse, can you come on Clubhouse? I would love to put voice to your words. Go ahead, moderator.
Welcome back, Betty. Are you in a better space?
I think I am. Every time I turn on the mic, I see this red and said poor. I don't know what's going on.
No,
but
you sound wonderful. You sound
okay,
wonderful.
thank you. Father, I met him when I was 15 years old. I was 15 years old, and he was 19. And he asked my mom, "Can I move in with?" My mom let me. Like, you know, my mom didn't have the upbringing that she needed. Also, so he asked her. I actually was living with my sister, and he asked my sister. And my sister told him to ask my mom, and my mom told him, yeah, because I think, like, just looking back and knowing the situation, listening to you, Apostle, and listening to Dr. Carmen, is that I lived in a toxic. I was raised in a. I don't know really what my mom was, but she treated us really different and followed us. Like, I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers, so she pinned us against one another. But so she let me
WOM
move
Network,
in with
please.
him,
She said I can set up the joint. Please do
so I
that.
stay with him until I
I'm
was
looking
like
forward to having you on
I left him in
Clubhouse.
29, I think 29. And so, but he kept trying to get back with me, but I never would. I'll get back with him. Then I had another baby, not with him. And then once I got saved in 96. So we talking about 96. I still wasn't with him in 96. He was study trying to get back with me. He got married, had 2 kids. His wife left him. He started trying to come to me, telling my kids, having my daughter. I didn't have an iPhone at this time in 2019. So he was telling my daughter, that I had to get my son. My daughter called me and told me to get my son's phone, and my dad want to see you. I'm like, come on now, it's like 9 o'clock at nighttime. She goes like, Mom, you know, you at home comfortable, so she wanted me to present myself to him. Mom, make sure you look nice. I'm like, what is I'm looking at? Somebody want to see. So when I got my son's phone, now it's him. This is the same thing. Now it's 22. Like, we went to the homecoming, my grandson's homecoming, so we all spent the night over my my daughter's house. He studied talking to my other daughter. Now, my daughter, mind you, my daughter that I had after I left him, she's 27. She's 27. He started telling them, tell your mom to call me. Tell your mom to call me. But then I was first falling for it because I called him thinking something like really wrong with him. What's wrong with him? He'll give me the cold shoulder. Like, he didn't tell them to call me. So I don't call him anymore. This past holiday, just going into what's that? Remorse Day. He was telling my daughter, tell your mom to call me, because I had blocked him on my phone. I'm like going no contact. So, like, what do you want with me? You don't want anything with me, and you just want to keep telling the kids, oh, your mom was so great, and she's this, and she's this. And my kids coming back telling me this. Now I got 39, 36, 30, my other son, 35, he's 35. And then my daughter was 27, my baby 21 years old, he lived with me. I'm on ice. I got divorced in 2016, so I'm good. God got me on ice. If God wants somebody to bring me, like, you know how, like, the stars, like the basketball stars, they retire. I'm retired from that. I try to help people, try to warn people. I watch you guys. I don't have the education or to, or the background to start to see toxic people, but we must stay away from these. They are creatures. They are really rude and obnoxious people. When you get to know them and it's just one-on-one, and when they roll out that red carpet, but after they get you, they snatch the red carpet from under you, and it's not good. And I had another guy that I talked to, and I had talked to two narcissists. I talked to this guy for almost 4 years, off and on, and he got on my TikTok page, and I didn't never say anything to him, got into the direct messages. I immediately blocked him because they reach out. Now, this guy got married. You got married, and you still trying to talk to me like I'm going to be your side piece. No, that's not who I am. So we must stay away from them. They're no good. I would never, I go no contact with my kids' father. My kids are in their 30s. If you want to talk to your children, you can talk to your children, you can go. But when we have, my daughter has her kids, birthday parties, and we go to them, he gravitates to me. He come over there, he tie my shoes up. My shoes was untied one day. He bent down and tied my shoes. Now, this in front of people. But if we get away from, if I walk away or something, or get on the phone and talk to him, he actually is so mean and rude to me. So I'm like, no, you're not finna, I didn't know. I heard what you said, Doctor, and when you said that they are low in food, and he trying to use me to get his food up. But I'm not gonna let him use me. I don't never call him, and I'm going to block him again because my daughter said, "Dad, my dad said call him, and you was the one that he really loved, and he want y'all family, and you shouldn't do him like that." I haven't called that man. I have not called that man. But that's all I wanted to say. We just got to stay away from them. And I'm back at a place where, because when he started doing this to me, Apostle, you told me to email you. I didn't email you because I don't really know how to do the email stuff. But I was glad that you told me that, because you said that it wasn't like you said I sounded weak, but I had almost fell back into that 15-year-old girl that this man had totally control of me. And so I got back and kept listening to messages with you guys. I'm always on. If Dr. Common come on, you come on. I try to catch you, but sometimes you come on at different times. But I really love you guys, and I just thank God that you had time to listen to what I had to say, and I just want to stop talking right now. Thank you.
One network says something that is tremendous. He says, sound like the X is getting fuel from your emotions. And sometimes it's called thought fuel. When they know they have raveled you up, even if you don't connect with them, they know what has happened because they're going through the past history. You can't even allow them to bother you. You can't even give them the time of the day. The fact that you got to block them again means they know that they have ingested disturbance. And when they ingest disturbance, Jesus, girl Betty, that is fuel for them, because they don't even think of you as a human. They think of you as a toaster. I put a piece of bread in the toaster, I hit it, it pops up. And that, to them, that's what you're doing. Even if you didn't come back, even if you don't call, they stirred up enough disturbance to think I done affected them. Elder Clyde was saying, I've been getting lots of Hoovers from the narcissist, from different phone numbers. She said, I refuse to answer. And then Sheila said, they all play by the same textbooks, trying to play on our heartstring. Absolutely. And Elder Clyde said, the narcissist has been calling me and texting me from different numbers. I refuse to answer because I remember all of the craziness that I went through, and there is no way in the world I'm going back to that. Hello there, Zing B. Absolutely. So Jesus, girl Betty, stay clear, stay no contact. I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am. You don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna stay no contact. My kids always, and I tell them, my daughter, the 29-year-old, 39-year-old. You 39 years old. You've been in a toxic relationship, and I'm telling you, that's your daddy. Why you keep telling me what he said? Now I'm thinking like, you tell me what he said, but when I tell him something, you don't care. Then I said, did you tell your dad what I said? Oh, Ma, I forgot. But you always, see, that's the devil. You always remember to tell me what he said.
absolutely.
So I stay no contact with him. The other one, he reach out. He don't have no phone number anymore, or nothing like that. But he just reach out if he see my like Facebook or follow up. But I blocked him on all of those websites. He cannot reach out to me. And I moved out of Chicago. I no longer live in Chicago, so I'm not. God got me as he just moved me real quick. Mind you, all my income has stopped. And this is how I know it was God. All my income stopped. Now this guy he had access. Both of them knew where I lived at. They could come over at any time and just pop up and text and say, come downstairs, I'm downstairs. And I'm like, I don't want them to. I didn't know none of this about narcissists and toxic people. I just, how you call people, oh, he crazy. He do crazy stuff. So now that I know, and I started listening to Dr. Carmen at 19, and also Apostle Helen. So when I got these, like I'm basically by myself with my kids, because I recently had a friend. She's an older lady. She's older than me. She's 67 years old, and she did the same. Now I never had this experience. This lady did the same thing. And once she knew that I cared for her, and she was taking me grocery shopping and going to the laundromat and doctor's appointment, I would pay her. This lady started, in the wintertime, she started turning the heat off, saying her heat was broke, freezing us and freezing herself. And in the summertime, she don't want you to raise down the window, but she don't want to turn the air conditioner up. So God got me away from her. I just stopped. When I go grocery shopping, I call my daughter, or I get, because my daughter live in Aurora. I live in where I live. I'm sorry, and I'll get on the bus. And this lady started going on my 21-year-old son, TikTok, reaching out to him because I blocked her on my page. Now, when I see toxic people, and when that red flag get up, when God showed me that red flag, I move immediately and I shut everything down. I don't give you a second time. You pull the red carpet from under me. That's enough for me. So my circle is very, very small. I deal with my children and a couple of friends. I got one, I think, Belinda. That's one of my friends that I grew up with, Belinda Weekly. She's there. But I just thank God that you guys do a wonderful job. Apostle, keep doing what you're doing, because it's a lot of people, women and men, are suffering, and they are trying to deal with people, these narcissists that is turning their world upside down. But if you guys was not on the internet and on YouTube, we're probably still dealing with them and being sympathy with them.
Oh my God.
But I thank you guys.
You are so welcome. I want to welcome, thank you so much, baby girl, for that statement. Hello, Hakar, how are you? And Elder Clyde said, what would be very helpful to this young lady is to disconnect from her emotions and to deal directly from a common sense factor. It just disconnect, period. Thoughtful is letting them live rent free. That is so good, Danielle. Absolutely. And that's what they want to do. And then we had Clyde who said, a firm foundation is to rid yourselves of these flying monkeys, whether they be family, friends, or acquaintance. Whatever the flying monkeys are, only there to assist the narcissist. Absolutely. And we have one network. Can we release him? We are excited about hearing from them, moderator.
How are you, One Network? Thank you so much for coming over. Loving to hear your voice right now.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to come in. I am just so moved by the passion that everyone has on here in speaking the truth and getting people set free and delivered and letting them know that God has the final word.
Absolutely. I love what you were saying about these are principalities, these territorial demons. Could you explain one network about the orphan spirit?
Well, the orphan spirit is a spirit of rejection, is rooted in the spirit of rejection. And with that comes shame, regret, all those other things. And I truly believe that when a person has been so deep in sin and so much abuse or neglect, they open the door to many entities and different spirits to feed off of those feelings. And so the orphan spirit is a spirit of neglect and rejection and not really coming into the awareness of Jesus Christ, who is our Father, and they don't understand they are engrafted into the sonship of Christ. So when a person carries that weight or that the blindness in their eyes and their soul of who they can be and who they're not, they carry that spirit with them wherever they go. They reject love, they reject care, they reject anything in relationship to having someone giving something to them. They look for a way to reject it. And so that orphan spirit is nothing to play with. Like I said, it's deeply rooted in rejection and shame and regret. So that orphan spirit, it travels, it shows its head in many ways. The Jezebel spirit is that spirit of the orphan spirit because it's rooted in witchcraft. Witchcraft to me is nothing but the spirit of rejection, period.
Absolutely. And you know what is so prominent too? Rejection is people who have always operated in small places, overthrown in character, overthrown in destiny, and they're really strong, but they have been around opposing forces that made sure they stayed in oppression. And you know, this is so good because listen to this. When they were saying, Clyde was saying that they overthrow boundaries. They do not respect boundaries. And they do not respect boundaries. You put up boundaries, they purposely overthrow those boundaries because they don't respect your authority, they don't respect your work, and they don't respect your value. So you were asked, if they don't respect them, why do they keep hoovering me? If they don't respect those boundaries, one network, could you comply to that?
That's a spirit of control and manipulation.
Come on.
They work hand in hand with one another. If you have control, there's manipulation. If there's manipulation, there is certain control.
Absolutely. And that is just the spirit of just witchcraft. And one box said, I got you. She said, support this channel and hit the like button. Absolutely. I thank God for those of you who are on. Please subscribe to this channel and invite some people. We have 30 more minutes. Hello there, Shanti. How are you?
Hello, Mama. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. You know,
Yes, I'm
Shanti,
doing
we
good.
are talking about hoovering. And one network has really said some awesome things. But, you know, a lot of people are writing, why do they hoover if they really don't want you? You want to talk about that?
Well, I can say from experience, the person that I was married to previously, he was a constant cheater, due to some childhood issues, of course, trauma, all of that stuff that he went through. So he acted out in cheating. One thing that he did do is when he would get caught up or get corrected, he would try to do well for a little bit of time, and then he would still have other females, but I would always say he would hang on to them by a thread so that he could will them back in. At that time, narcissist wasn't a big thing, but it's when they know that they're caught and they know that they are at a limit where maybe that person is detaching or their main supply is detaching, they hoover or they try to hold on so that they can try to win you back over. That love bombing. And then also for those others, if they're getting something from them or they're getting empowered from them, they'll dangle them along so that they're not left without anything. And I yield the mic.
You know, and I thought about what Jesus' girl Betty said. After 30 years, it doesn't even matter one network how long it takes. It's like their mind is in this stuck place.
Yes, and that's the spirit of torment. They walk in the spirit of torment, and the spirit of torment does not have any boundaries, does not have any type of years. It's like time stands still with that spirit of torment. It stands still literally. So the same demons and principalities that Jesus dealt with, we're dealing with the same ones. They just dress differently. They look differently. And earlier I heard the gentleman sharing about the back adjusting. It's just manifesting. It's a weak moment because to me, when I encountered those dark eyes, it had a little bit of light in the center of it, but it was a false light. And it was weak because when a person doesn't get in, it has no fuel to feed on. So that's what the hoovering is all about, fuel. It's all about sucking the life out of your soul.
That is really, really, really good. You know, they're operating with a spirit of suspension. They just suspended in time. And the only evidence of forwardness they get is through the person they operate in. That's why the narcissists like to attach themselves to places they are not, intellectually, socially, financially, because they mirror the individual. And one thing about it, Shanti was saying, you know, it wasn't as prominent. But Shanti, have you noticed that now it's prominent? And because narcissists, they know people are aware of them, they're trying to upgrade through their specimens.
May I speak on that, please?
Yes, right after Shanti.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So I noticed that even though it wasn't prominent at that time, now it's like there's more information out there. Now it's like, okay, I'm caught, so now I have to try to change the strategy, or now I have to change how I do things, or change how I present it. But it's almost when you have dealt with that thing, when you have dealt with any situation or any spirit, any type of personality, or a personality disorder, or I'm gonna use even autism for instance. You have traits and things that stand out that is just like, nope, I know that that's it. And then sometimes you have to be careful not to just diagnose, because sometimes people can act a certain way or act something out, and you really have to assess the situation. But yes, being that it's more prominent now, it's like, okay, I'm caught. Let's change the strategy. Let me regroup. Let me go in. So you pretty much are allowing information. You're training something that you're trying to alleviate. So your strategy has to even go beyond that.
Absolutely. One network.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to share that the upgrade is happening. I was taken up in the spirit and I was praying and praying and praying for a sister. And the Lord began to share with me that they're upgrading because there's so much, it's like a static shock to their system.
Absolutely.
The frequency is increasing so greatly with the awareness in the spirit realm that the frequency is distorting their frequency.
Absolutely.
And so they have to come out of these clothes they're in now and upgrade, because they can no longer wear the old shells that they were in. So as this frequency goes about the earth and in the spirit realm, as believers in Christ, as we become more aware of the frequency, we're able to upgrade as well. It's not just them
Absolutely.
winning, we're winning as well, because like in cryptology, as I studied with computers, that whenever we did an upgrade, we had to change the whole system. Not only did we have to change the outer facing of the computer, but we had to upgrade the system. When we upgrade the system, we change everything. And so we're upgrading our system, and they're trying to play catch up with us because we're ahead of them.
Absolutely. And I think the Bible said the interest of your word give it light. So as God's word go forward and revelation is happening, that means the strength of the believer is happening, and we are interjecting into these ports, and we're giving out information, and we're giving out knowledge, and we're upgrading people's minds, and people are more aware of what's coming their way. So the narcissist is not able to get away with what they were getting away with. And so they have to upgrade. One network, you are absolutely right, because what used to work did not work, will not work now. And when you get in a system upgrade, you can't upgrade and keep an old portion, because it won't work. It's just like trying to put new data on an old computer that don't have the capacity for the download. It's too much volume of download for that old computer. And that's what's happening. And I think a lot of people are waking up to the narcissist. I think we are in the realm where we are having 20 minutes. So we definitely want to utilize this 20 minutes that is left with questions and comments. Zing B said, it is so true. She said, the ex is stuck. He's hanging around my neighborhood. She said, and I've been informed, and I've been no contact for a year. So really, the narcissists tell off on themselves. They're letting you know they can't get fuel. If you got fuel, the narcissist is not going to think of you. And people say they miss you. They miss the fuel. It's not you per se. You are connected with what they want, and what they connected with is the fuel. They need fuel. The old fuel is better fuel, like old wine is better wine. We want to talk about that. Shanti, and then one network.
Can you rephrase that, Mama, or repeat it, please?
Yeah, they want to go back to that old fuel, because that old fuel is a sure thing. And Jesus said the old wine, they said, is better.
Yes, ma'am. So old wine is aged. Once something aged, it gets better with time. So it's almost like when you learn that person, you learn their quirks, their ins, their outs. You learn their attitudes. You know what makes them tick. You know what sets them off. You know when they're up. You know when they're down. So it's like if you have to go and relearn somebody like that altogether, that's going to be a process. That's going to take you time. But if that old fuel, you already know how they work, how they operate, if they're in the same position. Maybe there's something that you still have about you that you haven't grown, or you haven't become into another realm. So that person is like, okay, let me test this water. Let me see if I can still get in there, because I still know the quirks. I still know what works. I still know how to push them. Maybe I can woo them. Maybe I can love bomb them. Maybe I can get my way again. But they know how to already get in. They know what they've already learned you. So it's like, okay, if I can get back in there, I can draw that. And maybe I've been gone for a while, so they're stronger now. So let me go back in and re-tear that down. Let me go and refuel myself. So they're looking at what they already knew. And then if you're already in a new place, you already know you're not going in upset. You're not going in with this attitude like, what are you coming for? What do you want? It's no, you're not getting in here. And it stops there. And they know not to play. They know not to come back. So that's my take on that. I yield the mic.
Absolutely. One network, you want to come in with a comment?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to state that from what I experienced, is that the covert narcissist hoovering to me is different from a regular narcissist. I mean, that level of high narcissist, I guess it would be the goal Apostle, is it the gold level
Say,
or narcissist?
say it again.
Is it different? Is the hovering different for a gold or bronze level versus a covert?
No, it all depends. That's personalized and specialized intent.
Okay, so that answers my question. So I think that the hoovering, what she said was Shantae, she spoke very well on that because they do come back because they have been fueled by someone else. So they have taken the essence of another person's soul and grabbed it at, made it their own, and exchanged it for theirs to come back to you. It's more like a conquering. It's a addictive, conquering spirit to want to just devour you. I believe that's the driving force behind the hoovering, is to conquer and devour and to annihilate and destroy your destiny.
Absolutely. You know, sometimes the narcissists need their own pat on the back to show you that what they did against you still works after being away from you. And every time a narcissist conquer you through a hoover, they feel a sense of entitlement and a sense of grandiosity, that they're better than anyone, because the narcissists even hate when you serve God, because in the mind of the narcissist, they are your God. You want to comment on that?
Yes, I do. That goes back to that Christian, the Christian narcissist. A lot of us need to be delivered and set free, even in the house of God.
Yeah.
That are leaders that are manipulated from the pulpit. And I think that that's a more deadly sin to me, because you know the word, you're manipulating the word, you're using it as a tool. You're not surrendering to it, but you're to the Holy Spirit, but you're manipulating the Spirit of God. And that is such a horrific price and a deadly sin to work under. But they don't care. They don't see it as that. That's the twisted part about it. So they're working for the enemy. They're not working for God. They're not advocates of the kingdom. They're advocates for another kingdom. And so when we come to the realization that the hoovering is not for you, period. The hoovering is not for you. The hoovering is to benefit them. And once we get that addressed in our lives, and that we made a choice to be with that person, and that we can do our own internal checking to see where our weaknesses are, and to allow the love of God to embrace those weaknesses, and to understand that He loves us beyond ourselves. And once we can embrace our mistakes, embrace our genuineness, wanting to love and be loved, then we can go forward.
Absolutely. Good job. We have Elder Classy. You can't put new wine in old wine bottles. That is so right. She said they try to come every now and then. She said, and I've had to run them off. And then Shalandra said, he was my God. I had nothing or did nothing if it didn't come through him. Oh, I'm so glad you're delivered now. And then Zingbi said, he believed he's Jesus, and that when the time is right, everyone will know who he is. And that is really crazy. You know, that show you how diabolical they are. You know, in talking in this hoovering, and many of you experience these hoovering, I am so glad for the comments that you have. If there are any questions, please raise your hand. Our panelists are available for you, and they will be able to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, please raise your hands, and we will bring you up to the stage for our panelists to answer your questions. And so do we have anybody that is raising their hand? Moderator.
We have some excellent VIPs here. I just want to welcome everyone. Just Be Real, Kiana, Sharima, Ernestine, Shanta, or Shantae, Tracy, Ernest, Jean, Melanin, Frankie, Wayne. Thank you so much for being here. You all look absolutely wonderful. Thank you to each king and queen that is on this stage and in VIP. Thank you for being a part of this simultaneous broadcast here on YouTube and Clubhouse. We are in the remaining moments of this discussion. Make sure you have invited someone and save the replay with the ellipsis up top. You can also share this room on your social media platforms. If you have any questions or comments, now is the time to raise your hand and we'll bring you up on stage. This has been such a wonderful room today.
Absolutely. You know, if we don't have any comment, any questions, I'm going to ask that we have final statements. Final statements would be Betty, Jesus Girl. We will have. Any questions? I'm going to ask that we have final statements. Final would be M. Okay. Could you? There you go. Hey, Jose, how are you?
I'm doing good though. It's nice talking to you guys all again and stuff like that though. So like with the hoovering, definitely like I got hoovered once though because I broke up with her the first time, like because I spent like a couple of years with her in the relationship, and midway I cut it off because I couldn't deal with her behavior, and then that was the first time she ever apologized, you know. And so the first time she ever apologized, I was like, oh my God, like maybe this could work out. Maybe she realized that it took this long for her to realize that I really cared for her and I was just trying to, work things out. But it's not like that with a narcissist. And so with the Hoover though, when they're not hoovering, like my experience, it's because they found someone else. It's when they're not coming back, they're not hoovering. To be honest, take it as a blessing because you did everything you could, and they're not coming back because they already found someone else. So when they do come back, you know their situation. They're not doing good. So once you understand narcissism and accept it for what it is, you understand their behavior. So when they come back, don't think that they really care for you. They're only back because like their situation. That's all it says. So yeah, I'll let my point on that. So thank you.
Absolutely. You know, a narcissist, especially when you got a serial cheater, you don't know when they're going to discard. You don't know when they're going to leave. You don't know when they're going to come back. That's why you have to stay no contact, build your mind, get positive words into you, get the word of God in you, be around support group, positive people, and strengthen your mind. I want to read this, and then Danielle, we're going to go into final words. Elder Clyde said, you become a backup source of support when the new supply has failed. In whatever situation ship they are going on, a grade A supply is hard to find. Absolutely. And I am so glad, Clyde, that you got a chance to comment. He said, I've been here for 2 years, but this is the first time that I commented. So thank you so much for being with us. We are going to go in the final words. We're going to first go to M. M will have final words. And then Jose, even though you're just coming in, you can finalize your words. Then Jesus, Betty Girl, you'll come in. Shanti, and finally we will have one network as final words. All right, moderator, it's in your hands.
All right, thank you so much for being faithful and coming back and staying connected. Now's the time for your final words.
I don't have a channel like the rest of you guys, but what my final words is, I just want to encourage everybody to stay close to God. Actually, like the young guy, what was his name, Jose was saying, to count it, as joy and peace, when they don't want to have anything else to do with you, because it is peaceful. To me, it is. And it doesn't affect me like it used to. And I thank God for that. But that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, M, moderator.
Jose, thanks for joining. Do you have final words?
Yeah, thank you so much, for what you said. I appreciate that. I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. Everyone else, oh, I got the red bar. Sorry, but I appreciate this support group, and honestly, it helped me a lot. I've been following this group for a while, to be honest, and thank you so much for everyone who spoke out. And I'm always learning, so my heart is always open. So thank you so much.
You are welcome, Jose, moderator.
Next, we'll hear from Shanti.
I'll say for final words, hoovering is pure manipulation. Like Apostle Helen said, build yourself up. Start to love on yourself. Learn you again. Encourage yourself. Talk to somebody, and then at that same point, choose to forgive daily. As hard as it may be, it's easier said than done sometimes. Choose daily to forgive for your own freedom, for your own sanity, and then lastly. You can choose to live in the midst of dying. So when it feels like things are over, know that sometimes the end is the beginning of a new.
Absolutely excellent, moderator.
Well said. Miss Betty.
Thank you. My final word would be just stay close to God and know that when God takes someone out of your life, leave them there when they come back. When God takes you away from a person and you know He made a way of escape, don't turn around. God don't want you to look back. We don't want to look back like Lot Rife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. And when you just keep going forward, and that's my final word. Just keep going forward. When God show you who that person is, don't try to fix people. We cannot fix anyone. Love God, and when He take you away from that person, don't look back.
Ooh, that's really good, moderator.
Amen, Miss Betty. And next, we'll hear from One Network.
Thank you for allowing me to have this platform, Apostle.
Yes.
And I think we are on a line of champions tonight. Everyone here is a champion, and they have stood the test of time. And my word is to remember to put God first, others second, and those things that are not that important, not driving you to your purpose, not sowing seed in your life on a daily basis for the third, because God is going to say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Enter into the house of the Lord. It's what you do from this moment on that matters. So you have liberated your soul. You have taken the blinders off your eyes, and you have decided to walk a different direction. Keep walking, keep praying, keep fasting, keep believing, and take care of your health. Get good vitamins in your body, drink plenty of water, exercise. If you just walk around the corner, do something. Start with the little things, and then God will give you the greater things.
Ooh, that was good. Wasn't that good, moderator?
That was so good. I fell off my chair, but I'm back on. Thank you so much.
I really want to appreciate you being here, taking this time out. I wanted to take this hour. I wished I had more time. I want to thank all of our VIPs, which my moderator will do shortly. And I want you to join me when I come on. And those of you on YouTube, I love you so, so much. Elder Clyde, you've been with us for 2 years, and finally you got to come in, and we are so glad. Thank you all for joining me. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Every time I come on, and I'm coming on more frequently, I have made that my purpose to come on more frequently and to be with my YouTube family and my Clubhouse family, and you would be able to join me. K and R say that I have learned this behavior. God has been helping us along with Matthew 5, the 5th chapter, to be happy. And I am so glad. I am Helen Sadler, your destiny helper. Warm Network, oh, you have been a real blessing. And Shanti, thank you so much, all of you all, for joining us on today. Jose, M, and Jesus Betty Girl, thank you so much. Shalonda, I love you all, and I will see you all on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, partners, go on patreon.com. Join me in partnership, $30 a month, to join me in partnership where we can have some personal time, because I'm a limited access. So I'm giving myself more to my partners. Go on patreon.com and you can join me in partnership for $30 a month. I love you. Look forward to hearing from you. And thank you, all of our VIPs and all of our forum guests. Moderator, it's in your hand. I love you on YouTube. God bless you. And I'll see you on the next video.